Hey everyone, welcome back to the Disney Sorcerer Arena Discord. Platinum Mickey coming soon to Sensational 6 Part 2. Is he the secret? Is he the secret tune they were working on? Because we know we have 4 versions of Mickey already. We have 3 versions of Mickey already in this game, and those, of course, are regular Mickey, who is the legendary. Then there is Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey, who you get from just playing the game, from doing regular stuff. You get him initially. Then there's Steamboat Mickey, who who is very hard to obtain. He is in the season pass. If you buy him, you can buy 1 shard a day from the one shop that I told you about, which I may be able to show you real quick since I brought the game up. In the background, I talked to you about Mickey before, about how to get Steamboat Mickey. That's not the right place to get him, but Steamboat Mickey, you can get 1 shard a day in this back here is where you get him. You can see I'm actually able to take my Steamboat Mickey unwillingly just by the anniversary stuff, and just by the PvP and the pass holder stuff, which I have not bought the last 2 pass holders because I have not thought they were worthy. But so we'll just go in and look at my Steamboat. I don't play with him at all because but there's something to it, right? Because they're obviously trying to do what every game does, and that is bring multiple versions of tunes to the game. And so Steamboat Mickey it seems like Mickey is the first one, and is there a case to be made? Are they trying to make a Mickey Mouse team, or where you have Steamboat Mickey being the synergy, you have the legendary Mickey as the support, you have the Sorcerer's Apprentice as the DPS, as the damage attack or whatever, and then this Platinum Mickey, we don't know what he's going to do, and is he the secret tune? And the secret that they talked about, and a lot of you are like scratching your head and like, what are you talking about, secret? When you talk about secret, well, what I'm referring to is if we go back to June of last year, which has been 10 months ago now, of course, where we get this quote by Meathead with the Road Ahead, where he talks about the buddy program, the buddy bonus program, which we all have, where you go in and you claim the boxes every day. The friend UI experience, I don't know that we've seen that yet. We have got the gear increase. We have 9.5, and then the level increase and cap to 90, and then it says where it talks about another goal is to make another Ascension campaign, and then they talk about the final 2 pieces will be at a later date in the club expedition, and then they talk about where we'd like to put a new chase character in. Because everybody, a lot of people have kid, and not everybody does, but a lot of people do. And then they talk about what's coming, and they basically say, hey, everything that we've done so far: Alice in Wonderland, Linguini and Remy, Edna, a ton of free outfits, and then they talk about the social PvP mode, yada yada yada, and then whatever that is, and then they talk about what's after that. They talk about the Evil Queen, which we've gotten. They talk about the secret, which we have no idea about, but we've gotten the Evil Queen already. And then the last thing after that would be the Encanto legendary, which would be Maribel, Bruno, Lucia, Isabel, Antonio, and Carmela. And so the other day we were talking a little bit about if you paid attention, we were talking a little bit about the possibility of the gummy bears, and actually did a whole video that I didn't post where I talked about, everybody's role, who are every gummy bearer. But it was purely speculation. In this video, in this one, they've already told us the characters that are coming to that are coming to the game, similar to what they did in Alice in Wonderland. Now, to be fair, in the Alice in Wonderland, you knew Alice was going to be the legendary, and you knew Mad Hatter, Marsh Hare, White Rabbit, Caterpillar, Cheshire Cat were probably going to be the ones that they had. They could have gone Dodo. They could have gone Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They could have gone the Wolves and the Carpenter. But those are all kind of ancillary characters. They could have gone the King of Hearts, which I would have thought would have been interesting, but they didn't. So they told us Bruno, Maribel, Lucia, Isabella, Antonia, and Carmela. So that's 6 characters, right? So I have my Wikipedia page up over here, and I just want to talk to you about who these characters are and what they could do. So we'll start with Maribel, of course. She's probably going to be the legendary, right? Okay. So Maribel is a 15-year-old protagonist who, unlike her family, does not have a special gift. Okay, fine. Moving on. The next person it talks about Bruno. Let's find Bruno. Bruno was voiced by John Leguizamo, who was Maribel's 50-year-old uncle, who was ostracized because he can see the future. Okay, so what does that sound like? What ability does that sound like in another game? I don't know if you guys play other games, but in Galaxy of Heroes, they have this thing called Foresight, which I believe is the same thing. Don't know. Could be wrong. Who knows? Anyway, Lucia. Who's Lucia? Lucia, voiced by Jessica Darrow, who was Maribel's second oldest sister, who's 19, so Maribel's 15. Lucia is 14. 19. She has superhuman strength. So more than likely, she would be tankish or attacker. Okay, fine. That's fine. Isabel. Next we have Isabella. Let me find her real quick. Isabella is Maribel's oldest sister, who's 21. And can make flowers bloom anywhere. That to me sounds kind of supportish. Flowers blooming sounds kind of healerish to me. Okay, Antonio is Papa and Felix's 5-year-old son. Dolores and Camillo's brother. Isabel's cousin, gains the ability to understand animals. I don't know exactly where that falls into. And then we have that was Antonio, and then we have Carmelo, which I'm a little interesting. It's a little interesting that they didn't put Dolores in here or some of the others, but Camillo is Felix and is Peppa and Felix's 15-year-old son. Doris and Antonio's brother. They didn't put Dolores in there, but they put these two in here. Maribel's cousin, who can shapeshift. Who else can shapeshift? Who else can assume other people's forms? Sounds a little bit like Pain and Panic, right? But maybe not. And so you have those, and you have those 6. What is everybody except for Bruno? What are they all? They're all teenagers or younger. One's 21. We have a 21, a 19-year-old, 15-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a... What was the other one? Sorry. a 15-year-old. Sounds to me like they could all be potentially, and the reason I did this is because I did the video about the gummy bears and how they could all be, they would all be forest creatures. But if all these characters are this young, you know what that sounds like they could also be, with the exception of Bruno, is they could all be summoners students, sorcerers students. Now, let's break it down. We have Ian, obviously, he's big damage. Everybody knows about Ian. He's been in the game since launch. Everybody knows about Dash. He's been in the game since launch. People know, and they know about the revamp that happened with the Incredibles, with where they didn't really touch Dash, but they did improve Violet a lot, and they changed the way Jack works to make him more stable. Cool. No, Miguel has a leadership, but it's mythical centric. Okay. What did I tell you that when the Encanto crew comes to the game, what are they going to be? They are very, 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 very likely to be, in my opinion, mythicals. What does Miguel's? He obviously heals, but it's non-summon mythical teammates gain the following: speed, and then on defeat he revives them. I don't know. Could be. Obviously worst characters are probably. Then we have Vanellope, who is just here because she's the youngest of a crew who is, I wish they would bring the rest of the princesses of that game of Sugar Rush to the game, but they might later, but who knows. Then we got Max, who is Max does his thing but doesn't have leadership. So, we have one leadership. We don't have a leadership that's forest centric, and that's the reason why the gummy bears would be great, because Zummy would likely have to have the leadership for the forest creatures and the gummy bears, because the forest creatures don't have leadership. Now maybe they have in mind when we get to the next batch, when we get to the new road ahead in like July. Maybe they'll say, "Hey, we're coming with a I don't know. I mean, because there's a lot of mythical possibilities with in this game. But I mean, we look at the size of these factions, and I probably talked about this a while ago. Let's look at the size of the downtown heroes. There's like 500,000 downtown heroes, right? Most of the game is downtown heroes. So I think where we are is they're going to be like, we're going to pull the reins. We're really going to pull the reins of how many downtown heroes we have, and we're going to try to even up the others. So if you're working on downtown heroes, I think you have some breathing room. I think Platinum Mickey might be the last one we see for a while. There is, of course, 15 downtown villains, and I'm sure we'll get some more of those, especially if they do. If they go back and fill in the Great Mouth Detective. But if we could look at the wilds, how many wilds are there total? There are 10, 15, 20, 25 wilds total. And so that is barely bigger. That's 10 bigger than the downtown villains, and it's much smaller than the downtown heroes, of course. And of course, I mentioned Winnie the Pooh, how he's got the only force leadership, and what is it? What centric is it? It's on defense. Winnie the Pooh teammates gain. So it's Club Conquest centric. There's no leadership. So, in my opinion, this is gonna be another prediction. My prediction for the back half of 2022, I'm going to put a marker in here, 15 minutes. My prediction for the second half of this year is we're going to get some form of a wild something or other with a forest leadership, or at least a forest, or at least, it could be a tower, it could be another two off like Buzz and Sucks or Max and Powerline or one of those type things. But mythical wise, how many characters we have? We didn't have any basically until we get the Alice in Wonderland event last year. We had hardly none. Now we have 10, 15, 20, 24. So we have one less. So we have one less mythical than we do forest creatures. And now if we get the six with the 6 Encanto, of course, that takes us to 30. And it would potentially give us, we would have 1, 2, 3 mythical legendaries. We already have 3, and so that would give us a 4th mythical legendary, which is fine. And then I think, I've been saying how I think Encanto is going to introduce the mythical meta. You can definitely see that. If you put, maybe you find a niche where you put the white rabbit on it and he blows his trumpet and you accelerate your team, because Alice has the leadership. Alice slows everybody down to where the other teams left, and then sadly Hatter and March Hare are not good, and then Caterpillar's one of the 10 essentials, so he's good. And Chesh is a mythical villain. If Bruno is a mythical villain and he has force, and he has whatever kind of foresight is on this team. Now I don't know if Bruno's a villain, because who knows, but I definitely think there's some possibility that maybe not Isabella or whoever will be. I don't think all of the Encanto crew would end up being sorcerer students, but I definitely would love to see it, because I just think it's great. I just think it's really necessary, and I think as we did with the original club conquest, the original club expedition, where you need all these different teams. All these different teams are, for the most part, built up. If you've not been working on them, you probably need to take some time, get through the club expedition on the highest level that you can now, and then, obviously you're going to need your forest and your interstellar and your sorcerer students for the Inferno, and you're probably going to need them for the new club expedition, at least in some capacity. Or could we maybe see the introduction of a new faction? That's something that we've not really thought of, because we were like, when we got the original faction of the adventurers, we're like, oh, okay, and then we get club expedition, and it's like, oh, okay, the adventurers make sense now. And then with the forest creatures, the forest, the interstellar, and the sorcerer students, were like, oh, you need these for the Inferno. Is there going to be something else that you need? Are you going to need a different faction for the new club expedition? Could happen. If that's the case, then I think everybody. It could be anybody, but do I think, obviously the gummy bears, Tummy, Sunny, and Gruffy would be could potentially be not only forest creatures, but additionally they could be students as well, sorts of students. But obviously when the Encanto comes out, there's going to be a high probability, and I think this is the reason why I thought that Encanto was coming next, but apparently it's going to be this Mickey Mouse, which I think is going to push the possibility for Encanto back into either late May or June, probably June if I had to guess. So you've still got more time if you're hoarding mythical pieces. Keep hoarding them, because you probably I would guess you've got at least probably six weeks, maybe 8 or 9. I don't know. Maybe 8 or 9, because 8 or 9 I think puts us at the end of June. Which, if it's the end of June, yeah, that because they would have to do that, then they would pretty quickly have to turn around and maybe do a road ahead at that point. But and of course we could get Encanto here in a month. But obviously we're gonna do the Platinum Mickey first. So who knows what that's gonna look like. But anyway, if you think I'm crazy, let me know. If you think that I'm brilliant, let me know. Either way, if you don't care, let me know. That's great. But anyway, I'm just throwing some stuff out there. Share some thoughts that I had. I would love for the gummy bears to come, because I think we need them. Because like I talked about, obviously we've not gotten forest creatures in a while. We've gotten, we have gotten mythicals more recently than we've got wild characters. And I just really feel like that forest faction needs more help than the summoner students do. Could be wrong. Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back next time. Till then, have a good day. We'll see ya. Bye.